Good morning, guys, and welcome to the Kim Financial Stock Market Update. So, before we go into the markets as a whole and discuss what happened not just on Friday in the half day, but also in the full day last Wednesday before Thanksgiving, I didn't do a video after that just because, you know, myself, just like other people out there, I wanted to focus on spending time with the family and being appreciative and thankful and you know let some of the other things that we focus on in life just kind of get put on the back burner for a little bit and then come back to it this week. So um, like I said, before we get into the actual markets, um, I want to go over something that I will be uh, starting to implement for my own family's finances is I'm going to be opening up a Coverdell educational savings account for my son, and then we're expecting in January, so we'll also be my plan will be next year to set one up for the new baby as well, for the little girl. So um, just I guess want to touch on base on that a little bit, as it's a good tax advantage way to save um, for school. They may or may not go to school, and at that point, we may have to pay a penalty to get that money out, or we can, we'll have to figure out that's going to be at least 10 years down the road. So there's definitely still plenty of time for legislation to change. But as of right now, you would pay a penalty as well as the tax rate on that to get that money out. But um, for right now, I kind of feel that that's a good place for us to start saving some money. So, um, but I guess, and even before that, thinking along those tax advantage lines, um, you know, if you have a 401k at your work, usually that's going to be the best place for you to put your the first part of your money that you're saving tax advantaged, just because the 401k usually has a match with it. So if your employer doesn't have a match, you may want to start with an IRA. I'm in a spot right now that it makes more sense for me, and with the tax bracket that I'm in, I feel like putting it into a Roth IRA, paying the tax on it now, and then being able to withdraw it later on tax free. That's kind of the route that I prefer to go right now. Again, that's just based on my specific scenario. It's going to be different for every person depending upon what tax bracket they're in. But if you're in a higher tax bracket and you want to shelter some money from taxes, you're going to want to put it into an IRA or a 401k, something like that. That's going to be tax advantaged, and that's going to bring down your taxable income, which may help drop you into a lower tax bracket. And that's kind of where I'm at with the educational savings account. Is that's another potential way to shelter some money from taxes and put that money off for future benefits. So that's just kind of a rundown of a few of the different things that you can do. I mean, there's definitely other tax advantage things that you can do, and try to throw in some financial advice along those lines, as well as the market advice that we go over. So, as we go on the show. So let's take a look. So last week, I can tell you, I'm going to pop back over to my personal stock portfolio. That's so in my undervalued stocks that I've purchased, um, we have Unum Group, which I know it hit a new high last week. I'm not sure if it was Wednesday or Friday, but I know that at one point in time it hit a new high. SeaWorld hit a new high on Friday, as well as Marriott Vacations Worldwide. The only one of the four that I have in that system that didn't hit a new high Friday was Exelon. But even it is trending back up a little bit, and it's definitely well above its stop price. So we're in pretty good shape there, riding out with those stocks. SeaWorld is one that's going to get probably going to get pulled from the portfolio in December. I bought it in September after selling a put option, so I could get in at $14 a share. And then once you exercise the put, I got in at $13.61 a share. And as soon as that was exercised and into my account, I immediately sold a December 16th call option as a covered call to get additional income above and beyond the dividend that it pays, with the plan of selling at $16 a share if by chance SeaWorld would make it there. Well, now it's at $17.60, so it's probably going to get exercised at $16 a share. So the 30% that it's up right now is actually probably going to come down to roughly 20 to 15 to 20% gains, but it is, that's fine. It is what it is. I'm okay, having it out of there at that kind of a gain. That's a nice quick gain on a company that really has been struggling financially. So I'm not overly worried about that. Looking over at the trend following system, I know MetLife, Bank of America, American Airlines all hit highs last week at one point in time. Bank of America's basically still right there at its all-time high, or at its high since I purchased anyways. Thomson Reuters is pretty close to a high. Really every stock in this system is fairly close to highs, with the exception of Blue Cap Reinsurance Holdings, and that's the one that I've held for going on 20, actually just over 20 months now. If we look at the S&P 500, seen utilities did real well at the end of the week last week. Tech stocks performed pretty well. Healthcare, the biggest pain was in the independent oil and gas, basic materials group. Generic drug makers had some pain as well. I see some pretty bright red Urban Outfitters, and that was due to their earnings, and Gap was again down pretty heavily following its earnings. Macy's was down almost 2%, and then the one in the tech that I see some red is under Skyworks Solutions, the semiconductors. So it'll be interesting to note today, with the outcome of Black Friday now behind us. It'll be interesting to see whether Macy's and Gap and some of those kind of bounce back on the back of the Black Friday results. From what I've heard, Black Friday was again a growth from last year. That they're expecting the stores to come out and put the news together that there's actually sales growth over last year. So if there is sales growth, that's only going to benefit all those companies in the retail sector. So again, it's going to be, we'll see that as the week goes on, as more and more information comes out. But so on that news, we will go ahead and shut it down for today. If you have any questions, send me an email, chrism@campfinancial.net, and I will either answer them here or reply to your email. Thanks again, and take care.